What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Inheritance. Let's rock this. I'm gonna preface this by saying that I am not a fan of director Neil Burger's movies in general. Whether they be original idea or adaptation, almost all of them have interesting concept, but that's where the quality ends. They just don't go any further than that because the lackluster scripts often hinder them from reaching their potential. And unfortunately, that's the same fate that befalls Inheritance. This is a self-described spy thriller that sadly does not thrill nor intrigue. It's a string of chase sequences that more than often go absolutely nowhere. The plot and the character development are so paper thin, there's hardly anything substantive for the audiences to actually grab onto. Not to mention tedious, sluggish, and boring. If your only argument is, hey, it's filmed entirely on an iPhone, well, that's not a very strong argument, because a movie that visually looks interesting doesn't always necessarily translate into an interesting movie. Directed by Neil Burger and written by Neil Burger and Olin Steinhauer. In Inheritance, when Maya learns that her father was once a spy, she suddenly finds herself at the center of an international conspiracy. In her quest for answers, Maya becomes a target and must travel the globe, mastering her father's skills and unraveling the mysteries of his past in this gripping espionage thriller. Starring Phoebe Dynevor and Rhys Ifans. I like Phoebe Dynevor, and I think it's cool that after Bridgerton, she has been doing all kinds of gigs these days to showcase her versatility as an actress. And so this latest attempt of hers in this particular genre is definitely something that I admire. She is at it again, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, she's not able to do much, or she's not able to rise above this film's poorly written script that basically constricts her to one pointless road trip after another. Her character is supposedly trying to find her kidnapped estranged dad, and while I appreciate Neil Burger not wanting to turn her into a Mary Sue, but her cluelessness also becomes dreadful and irritating. And that is one of the biggest problems with the material. It lacks any type of imagination. A muddled dialogue followed by a lifeless chase scene, rinse and repeat. Neil Burger's got no other tricks up his sleeves. I mean, all that this movie's got going for itself is, hey, isn't it cool that we shot the entire thing on an iPhone? That is its only bragging right, which is pathetic. Now, to be fair, the director himself, Neil Burger, did say that experimental style of shooting was indeed their objective from the get-go, and that does provide intimate, claustrophobic atmosphere, sometimes to the point of discomfort because we get so up close to Phoebe and Rhys's faces. I'm not sure how many iPhone cameras they used during production, but some of the handheld sequences are made to appear as if they were done in one take, going fisheye from Rhys to Phoebe and back to Rhys again, which does create a unique viewing perspective, but it can also be a bit disorienting. But still, no amount of experimental or high-concept filmmaking style can make up for a terrible script. And that is this film's biggest violation, in that it has almost no meat on its bone. You can even see the contrived twist coming a mile away, and the conclusion leaves you hanging in a non-rewarding way. The whole thing is kind of upsetting, come to think about it. So yeah, overall I give Inheritance the rating of 1.5 out of 5. Phoebe and Rhys deserve so much better than this dreadful project. I mean, they did what they could, but they should just take the L and move on.